Guys, it's me, it's Queen Aset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Alright guys, I want to tell you guys first and foremost, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who may like it as well, okay? Likewise, I gotta tell you guys something that happened yesterday that was so cool. So I was on Instagram and one gentleman hit me up, an Aquarius male, and he asked me the following question. He said, Queen, how do Aquarius behave when they are feeling vulnerable? And I was like, somebody had already asked me that question before. It was on the list. So I was like, maybe tomorrow will be a good time to answer this question. Well, in the midst of me musing about the question, I'm thinking about what my answer was, another Aquarius male sent me a poem that he wrote. Yesterday I talked to like 6 Aquarius men, right? And the second one sent me a poem that he wrote. So if you're in the comment section today, you've already seen this poem. This poem was the catalyst for this video. Because after I thought about the question from the first Aquarius, I realized the poem from the second Aquarius is the answer. So let me read it to you. I really admire being a simple person, even though being simple is a choice. I prefer a simple woman, one who can make me smile. However, if her smile captures my heart and mind, I will not like it. Written by an Aquarius male. So when I put this in the community section, a lot of people were like, oh my God, that's got to be an Aquarius man. It is. It is. But a lot of Aquarius, male and female, feel this way when they feel vulnerable. So if you listen to the poem, I'll break down the last part of it. First of all, I'm going to break down the last part, then we're going to get a definition of vulnerable. He said he will not like it. So what he's saying is that he's going to feel vulnerable. He's going to feel afraid. He's going to feel some type of way if she captures his heart and mind. Okay? He's basically going to be afraid. Now, what is vulnerable? What does that mean? Basically, vulnerable is when a person feels exposed. They feel open. They feel subject to attack. According to the definition online, it says that they feel exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. Vulnerability, something many of us avoid due to fear of being judged, hurt, or otherwise. So what he's saying in this beautiful poem is that if a woman is just simple and fun and she makes him smile, that's okay. But if he starts to feel vulnerable, he starts to feel afraid. And he's not going to like it. So what happens with an Aquarius when they feel vulnerable? Well, they don't like it. Many of us don't like it. But it really, I'm going to be honest with you, it really depends on where the Aquarius is with their emotional intelligence. That's the bottom line. Some Aquarius are more emotionally stable, intelligent. Some of us are more emotionally grounded. Some of us have a better handle on our emotions than others. Some of us run from our emotions. Some of us deal with them. Some of us aren't even certain of them. Some of us are so detached from our emotion, we don't even know what it is. And sometimes I find myself in that space. Sometimes I find myself not even realizing what I'm feeling. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And I will sit there and ask myself, what is wrong with you now? What is going on? And then it'd be like, oh. And it just dawned on me what I'm feeling. So it depends on how good the Aquarius is with emotion. But an Aquarius who compartmentalizes or represses or suppresses or detaches from their emotion, when they feel vulnerable, they do not like it, and typically they run. Somebody told me in the comment section that she's seeing an Aquarius, and every so often their relationship will be going really good, and then he'll just disappear, and then he'll come back, and then he'll disappear. Every time it gets good, he disappears. And when we looked at the cards, he could not handle the feelings that he was having for her. He was feeling vulnerable. He was feeling like he was falling in love and didn't want to fall in love. Ooh, he didn't want to do that. So he felt scared and he'd run. But then he gets so far away and he misses her. Then he comes back and she's like, dude, look, you have to have it one way or another. Either you want to fucks with me or you don't. Either you want to be with me, either you want to get to know me, you want to spend time with me, or you want to go. And finally, I don't know what happened. The last time we talked about it, she said she finally just told him, look, you're going to decide, are you staying or are you going once and for all? And I agree with her. I co-signed on it because I was like, that's not fair to you emotionally. And it's not helping him emotionally either to do that to himself. So I told her, okay, I feel you on that. It's not healthy for either of you. He has to make a decision. So that's what happens with Aquarius men and Aquarius women. It's more common. I'm going to be honest with you. It is more common with our men. Because men in emotion, we already know they're not encouraged to express it, to have them, to address them. Women are more encouraged or at least tolerated in that area. So the Aquarius women are faster to become emotionally intelligent, emotionally sound. But it's not all of us. There are many Aquarius women who do the same thing. I know when I start liking somebody, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The first thing in me is apprehension. When I realize I like them, when it clicks in my mind, because it takes a little bit of time for me to admit it to myself. But when I feel it and I think it, I'm like, oh, shoot. Whoa, 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 whoa. My first thing is, whoa. I always like get the brakes on, Wait a minute, I got to think about this for a couple days, I immediately want space. I immediately want time to think. So I'm like this too. But the difference is that after I've had a couple of days, my panic goes down and I'm like, okay, all right, if I want to do it, we can do this, But I do panic initially, just like an Aquarius man. The only difference is that because I've worked on my emotions, I come to a space of being okay a little bit faster than I think some of my brothers do. And of course, this isn't all Aquarius men. There are some Aquarius men I know who are more than happy. A lot of them are like a third decan Aquarius. And a lot of them are more than happy to be in love and send their wife roses. Some of them are really into that, or their husband gifts, or whatever the case is. Some of them are really into it, and some of them really are open in their feeling. But I've run into a lot. It is more common for me to run into an Aquarius man who would be afraid if he became vulnerable. And according to the definition, many people of many sun signs become vulnerable and they become afraid. So it's not like it's just Aquarius, but I do see it commonly with Aquarius men and sometimes with Aquarius women. And I am one of those women. But like I said, it's just lucky for me that I'm the kind of woman who I'll push past it. I know an Aquarius man who would run from this type of situation and never turn back. Never turn back. So that's what happens when an Aquarius is vulnerable. If they're not emotionally sound, they'll run, they'll want things to slow down, they'll back off, they'll feel that kind of way about it. They'll feel panicky, they'll feel apprehensive about it. If they're emotionally sound and they're cool in that way and they feel vulnerable, they still might not like it. I don't think vulnerability is something that a lot of people like, but if they're emotionally sound and they're emotionally intelligent, they'll work their way through it. Probably a little bit faster, or definitely a little bit faster than somebody who has not got that emotional integrity, that emotional strength, I'll call it. So that's the only real difference, is that some of them will be able to make it through and some of them will not. Like I said, there are Aquarius who will walk away from a woman or a man who captures their heart and mind and never turn around. And there are other ones who get scared like me in the beginning and then come back forward. And then there are still other ones who might take a little bit of time to come forward. Remember the IceCube Theory. I told you guys that some Aquarius thaw slowly like an ice cube. And some of that is from the fear, the panic of being vulnerable. So if you have an Aquarius and they get that panic, they get that fear, I would say as long as they don't ghost, I would say let them work through the fear. If they just get scared and panicky and a little apprehensive and they're acting a little shaky, that's fine. They're working through the fear. But if they're ghosting and running back and then coming back and then ghosting and back and forth and back, no. I wouldn't play that at all. You have to be ready to work through this, or you have to be ready to move on. Okay? So this is common for an Aquarius. So if you ever come into this situation with an Aquarius that you know or that you're dating, know that it is really common for our sign, and know that many of us will and can work through it. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. And thank you for that beautiful poem. I really appreciated it. All right, guys, I'm out of here. So if you want to get into contact with me, all my information is underneath there. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to check me out on Sunday for our live discussion at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, okay? See you later.